echichi enemenche mamunyina ha edemoba Owia Kaseɛ mfonyi so Kumase stadium amekum eho ene yewo obene mbosome ne de toso mako enum ofincha mpemienu ne aduonu nsia ne bosome etoso miensamu ena yewi madam omemu nsem bi de editie de dikapa de mfo akununa kuruche de agumem wosemfu asema mana ye krogin ena yensa asoso awie ya donre ba ko edi animi ye de ba de abesomo www.owiatv.com Owia TV official ewo TikTok Owia TV and also ewo Facebook ena Owia TV ewo YouTube bomodin na follow ya no subscribe no like no share edwumadi awodo no na afei wo de wadwen chenso e de ato ase e de amayetiawa eni de eni awobrase mu ensema de so mu enawie de edi mu akote bi eni se oba asante mantema yewra godin ahianyo de atodwa se bambo adwumakuo no wo bom ginomo na so part se bambo mu nsam de enema ekoyie pa sa enso ena ama dapa ba John Ejekumkufo edi mo eni sempayo edi ama wo menfinsia edi osia enkona yeko na yakowura mu no yebomodin na yakowura mu ewo nsamfufuro mu a yewra ken oforiata enkane omaiga na fotosamfo na busia pa lai pa na die nti ena wo ma pa lai yi yede ho nsam yede beba betudwa edi amamo ewo no mo enhye bia mpanyimfo eyo se wo mo agya wo no bone a wo modie no enhyedanye kase bia enu nti no yebe mo modi dwumadie ewo mpatamu no eno so wo mra no se na nhye no akwakosie yede ni nyina eni pi ene ka we hu a yede eba besomo ene awie midi eni abusia pani owusu ediomi afei kaseɛ no enchiremu John Ejekumkufo Ghana mampanyi dada a obedi ade ewo Ghana akonwa so ni mprenu so mfinhia nwotwe na ye nyina ye nim se wachina dai wotwe di ampo ya adom na wa amade a na America ena afe Israel ni Iran tokwayi anse ewiase de a na o mei enya mfinhia aduosia enkono ebra ye de ye ho edifri English kwasikoko ensemu ewo na no ne ye hye ho fa ewo mei atan ye kese Jubilee House so enam so ama John Ejekumkufo a wa be Ghana mampanyi ni pen edi mo ene sempayo edi ama oman Ghana.
A few days to the anniversary of our independence. So naturally I say happy anniversary to all Ghanaians. There's still a lot of work for us to do to move ahead. Ghana is a land of promise. And nature, I believe, means very well for us. And we must all pull together to realize the prosperity and happiness that nature, I believe, wants for us as a nation. So I wish you all happy anniversary and fellow feeling for all Ghanaians, good inclusive governance for all of us, accountable governance, responsible citizenship. I believe the future is bright.
Thank you so much.
Mo ene sempayo eni tinkwa o meya sase ya sase a eni da so mu akase beke ho abomu ne nyina atimi atumpo na niema akoyie ede amaye amada papa John Ejekumkufo Ghana mampanyi dada eno no o mei epese ye yenhye bi sane ebeya asabi wo bia wono pen no kowiaye ekom ne de no no kote maame ne bode no eduro no kura wamfa ne nyina ho esape no opanye ene ode koye ebia adwuma manom na ya grace dokunu si wonom na kom de wona akowia na akodiye enu nti akwakopiem ewo koto na nya fe ne de kwakoto na duafie bosumi nsia bosumi miensa ne ekeka yam obi kura fe de kna wula be kwai ene ye jaji hwu anim pa no amamfinji edunum se kona kodi ade a wawiafo ene ade a sa bone nketenketea English broni kansa minor eno no ye behwe ne ne sempatamu a wote no se bonhwemu ane ye de wasi na wakọ akwatim aprapra na edwom na wo prapra momone kra na de beso na de aso na wakọ akoton na niema atimi akonkan na eno na oswafo hwe fisam ensam so Mubarak Muntaka wode ho nsam atodwa na wachi mu say.
Well, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that my colleague knows that one of the reasons for this bill is to help us to decongest our prisons and to ensure that people with minor offenses are rather given non-custodial sentencing instead of just caging them and not having the ability to feed and maintain them. So, Mr. Speaker, it's basically to help us set up a framework to ensure that we decongest our prisons and we do not just sentence people for stealing banana and plantain, but rather get them to do community service that will enhance community unity and prevent repetition of minor offenses just being in the prison. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable.
Mubarak Muntaka Muhammad Aswase Mrashebedwani a onukroya enesa eyoswafo a ori afisem nsam so na mote se ensemi wo kiremu ewo man Ghana Mrashebedwafi a no de to achiamehina owo honomo animu ekwan ye fa so se ne ebeya ebeboa ama na duafi a akire akaso na agbo apeso se ya apese no ebinum befifiri mu sansanya bone a ewo se wo mu ekotena na duafi ho na wo mu di mire bebre na aboa ama wo mu nso mo ho no nso eho ahai wo mu ewo honomo yento aso na yemfa emamo yedaso ewo man Ghana Mrashebedwafi na obehwa a ene no etoda Mrashebedwa no betenase na dwumedie bi koso a yitru edom dodo na ewo man Ghana Mrashebedwafi bechendi si amanjoku no bonse borom Mrashebedwafo no na borom kurokura atredie bi na borom atrotro so a de edi ahim na edi ahemfre na edi mu akotene pa no eye enkane wo man foto samfo Yera Ken Ofori ata a chese atrodie bebre ebinum se wo mra fie na wo begina se ni anim ebinum se wadwane a che papa bra fie num ne ade a na no na saa eye Mrashebedwa yi enye wonom nko a na eha wo mo edom kuma no na emom ne Yera Ken Ofori ata na busuafo nso te ho mpenten kwapa wonom ani abre sakrodom enam saa no so ama edom kuma no kendifo ononyamfo Alexander Afenyo Markins wasori agya ne namuro so amodin sam de atwedwa na akoya futu a wasade akọ ede amadom dodo no se obesre mprempren ya me ne wo kasa yi court bi ani wo man Ghana hanu a wotumi akyekire ko adu abon se doboa na wode aso Yera Ken Oforiata se wadi boni bi enu nti se koba ne saa samudi ne din ede atopa mpente so ena moton se de otamfo enya wasem na woton de a enya de beboa enam so amana busuafo wono mbonwuso ti wobesre se wonu nyan saa de man se ne be yenkonye nse na ho emfa emma afoforo.
We should all be fair in how we treat ourselves, especially those who are not in this chamber to respond to allegations. Mr. Speaker, if any member on this side had printed a picture of a minister of state or a former minister from our friends opposite, I'm sure none of them would take kindly to it. So I will plead through my own classmates, steady mates, colleague at the bar, Honorable the Femeko Eche Roxen Kwame. I'll plead with him. He is a chief whip for his side. That never again should such a thing happen. Our side, we are not going to pursue it, and because we are assured. So I'm not resiling from that assurance. But to the extent that the colleague is a junior brother of Mr. Ken Oforiata, a former finance minister of this republic. No court has found him guilty. We can do our politics, but to also print his pictures deliberately. And that day, the whole world's attention was on this chamber. I would plead through my friend the Chief Whip to ensure that in future, any such action is curtailed, controlled, or stopped by him, so that this house would get the needed peace. Because, Mr. Speaker, if we don't stop it, a certain precedent will be set, where maybe any of us from the backbench could also do something against a serving minister of state. Perhaps when that is allowed, we may not be able to control the consequences of it. So it's a humble plea, and I want to assure the Honorable Duke Oforiata, who has persistently, because I was not in the chamber, he still insisted that the family is so concerned that as a caucus we have not dealt with this matter, and I had to rush into the chamber to make this plea. I don't intend to litigate it, but I am pleading with the Chief Whip and the leadership of the majority caucus that enough of Ken Oforiata's name in this chamber and the persecution and the attack on his reputation. He also is a human being, a Ghanaian. He has a wife, he has children, he has extended family, and not the least, he has a brother who is a sitting member with us. So, Mr.
Kino Foria Tanso wo nipo sabi wo abusion wo wayere ni mu enti ekoso se ha dwen ene ubeda beso na se bia edom kuma nso aso na bia wo sofo bia wo som wo no wono nso ni din ne nam na se bedwa fie sa enya akono ti wedi amede ani de ani ambrase ebuo mu a ena mede esre se yenhwe ne yemfo si wieye emfa ensi so nana no kra ensi ena owura Nelson Roxon Nelson Kwame the fiama po South dem na se bedwani wono nso som no oh na ne kana fa che kuntunkurunku kino Foria tanabusuafo se wono nse ne nkunan na wo monka nkyɛnse wo mra fi papa na anu ana Ghana-fo bi se a wo se yase wo yade enti wo di brebeto na aka che Ghana-fo se saa asɛm ne de yakoye se agya ne ma wo fi na wo se agya nwane mfanya ne ba ne ne se ye wie ye emampam wo nso agya wo awadwane enti ene wonka nkyɛ na busuafo nse na busuafo mo moden na wo nse ne nkunan na wo mra Ghana na bibia wo ho bia no omra megyira ni mu na afe no wo meyi ne ho ano.
I am pained. I am pained that this matter is having some adverse impact on Duke. I am pained. Yes, I am pained because I can gauge the mood. But it's about his elder brother's conduct. Everybody is saying, come and account for us too. I believe that if he were here and going through the processes, nobody will mention his name. So on this note, I want to assure him that we will not antagonize him. Please, we will not antagonize him, especially when his sensibilities are concerned. But we want to urge him to urge his big brother to come home.
Eye Owura Roxon Kwame Dafiamakpo South Dem na Shebedwani a wono eye edomdodo no wono motene chief whip wono ena yetene nka ewo ehwo no yemfro man Ghana na Shebedwafie na yemmo emfenwura ye fom ho ene ho ensensem yenyina ye nim sesesei ewiase nya asem keto akra sade eye Israel ena afeye America ena Iran wono masesade asoaso ama man bia wono sabie kusabie krota yese oketre ekwawe ne maku na chese wono otem nchen no wono wakotem fifiri no zabi na akoso so aman aka ntoko emfata wo mo kra na na se emfa wo kra akoso wo mo enam so ama ye nyina ye nim se de ye atomonim dada ewo Owia Kaseɛ so ne edwumadi ye die nyina no se Strait of Hormuz a ehwo no eye kwanto do enam poso a etimi ede efam wawodo faso na etimi ebaba Sahara so no ene Iranfo no wono mutum a wo ebehu se wonam obia no omode topaye ebesoma wo na eno na esenkitan wodie wo Ghana no no wono ma wo mu di petro hu edwa no ehwe se nka ombetena se no mo hu kwan ombefa so no madwo ne no na aba beto dwa se nhyehye ene niema wono mo ehwe no wono ma sa atwe ede asensen ewo ehonomo mene o ekase yie panyi kwanchefo a wono ene oda Ghana Chamber of Oil Marketing companies ye Dr. Reverson Opon wode atwodwa se nyese ebia sebia kusabia kronto wono dwumade ne nhyehye ompeso mo ye no no wo motwamu ene ade a na emom emfomso aba mu no ene o ma ye nsiesie ewo honomo se de ye nyina ye ka ebinum free se petrol bo ebekoso no ai wo mo de wo mani krutu abisi o mienu santem no ehwe no mo hu se ne esiko nyame ya adoma ye wo mu yi obani mbosome ne de etoso dunsia no so o mo ye nhyehyɛ foforo de aba ene o mbehu de ekoso wo wiase ene petrol bo ewo Ghana se de o mbesi ayo no.
Yeah, I mean, Abbas has, spoken the mind of PSPs. And indeed, when I hear that MPA has scrapped discounting, I find that a bit alarming. MP has not scrapped. They have rectified an error, which I believe is long overdue to be corrected. I don't think that when MPA introduced this discounting regime, it gained that popular stance as scrapping it has done. The whole country is talking about the discount scrapped amidst a more important issue with price hike. And let me say this: the next window will be very interesting. Look forward to that. Next window from 16th of March, Ghana will know what real marketing is in terms of oil. I mean, oil industry or downstream is concerned.
No way a penny quancher for that Ghana Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Dr. Reverson upon one and yeteninka ewo ehwonomo. Yemfa yeni enchemu ewo asante mantemo posifo wonomo asye yera Gordon ahianyo wono ene kasamafo ede ema womo kasamafo abedi echi superintendent mpamcho mpantaita nenka na posifo de ade a wonomu chie kura anu no wabommode anya ne tate na wiyidi afiri honomo. Superintendent of Police Owia Gordon ahianyo wode nsembi ede atudwa ede afa nanu de betodwa se appeal court judge baako a wo asante mantem hanmo akrabrifo bi a wo de abebomman abese man ka wonom nko na o man ekurefrefre wojammom wonom akodifie amanka wonom kodi bone akowia de nenso no otwedi ampote krafra mo hatam nkwantia mo wi owo abaduasaje abanyen eyi wonom so haban ema amaye abambofo eho ye hare emo mo nsa ekoso wo mumu ni ade a na ne nsentrofo ene ne ebo nkoma Owia TV yeto homa afrani di nkoma no wo chem se no kwasem nie sese zore bambo pai wa santemanteman ma ewurade ejane namro so pampe ayesemantatwea asose benke fufu a enya asem ketwa esanse wonmu guso a wono bo adwumaten na ne wure apikot die ya ye kan ya bambo fo hu se de se ye hare eni gisem wo mu ne se wono sa ka wo mu a na wo mu kodi sa abonefo semi
se kan ene sizes wo hu se eye weapon obetu ya ye bibia ntinyame ne ebeda na se bodyguard no eye swift enough otumi ehu womo a o engage womo otumi achi womo enti robbery dia bibia tubisi enti yebeka say ebebo police minabaso for that braveness and alertness so na akoye so onu nko a eno mo ye mienu eno no so kita pistol so they thought say they could disarm him now mini ameka atra so policeman no so no onye mre sa
okay
umo ye be mamua odwane nan so enti otumi eno won sieni etumi bo mu nan to a otumi edis ayi ememu omo a omo yemra of pray for reinforcement enti nyina ne say the alertness and a braveness and so kan ho and yetumi enya sa boys because them police ni bi aka sabi the one ya dia na bibisa onya alert on duty and on you brave enough and sabi yenta sampa and so better say so far, so very good. Ashanti region, I am very, very, very calm. When say police mono, ya chair region to 3.
That's right.
And to make Kasama a year greater Kumasi.
Okay.
Make a greater Kumasi and carry any paper ebeka home. Nyakani na a so kwa mensiane aswame. Tafo pankro no mamponting na eka ye Ashanti region. I can say, though, you record 1 or 2 cases, but as prevalent as it used to be. So far, I can say, young men, no, cocodine, now say, most what they say, Inspector General of Police, you're right, he said that you know, ask your police phone crying, ask your what say, well, be with Juma, a best way, won't quite your bribe, Bobe Sobe, your Juba, best way, your promotion mount. Enti akone say yenu anma police nyina no ija okaza wo describe the other na wo bo akra obeji ne promotion a odo be ko de nu meja ne nuanom wo no obeyi ne djuma akukunden aye ne djuma be so eni not just gina boss babaso body enti be kan say no so added to our police operational strategy boy in fighting violent crime and any other related crimes.
Officer, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Owia Gordon Ahianyo, wono ena yeteninka ewo ehwonomo na nan one yede tu monim se enhwemu aba na efri aben kuntabudie Owia Alhassan ne wonomo aba beka Owia Kaseɛ echirimu a omensi kasam no se de niam si kɔ no ekoyie pa ama kyese etoatoa so mpre mako du nan a ate aba fom saa efrifin jumping mienu ne aduonu nan bronya bosumi ni mu ana ejina wo hane nchemu no aduonu emiensa no efri wo na abasa besimi no kasa ya ate na ede aba wo hane nchemu no miensa echipo emiensa ekire se de niam si kɔ ewosikasam ne ho ntotoye enuane ebo anone ahodo a yenom ne bo ene niam e ka wo nyina wo de ho nkontabudie ede aba na abra governance association na already ekire nsemu no sei ena ochirimu efai.
The Consumer Price Index, or the CPI, for February 2026 stands at 264.4, up from 255.9 in February 2025. This translates into a year-on-year inflation rate of 3.3%. This means that, on average, prices are 3.3% higher in February 2026 than they were in February 2025. Now, this is a 0.5 percentage point down from the 3.8% inflation recorded in January 2026. It is a 19.8 percentage point down from the 23.1% inflation recorded in February 2025, that's a year earlier. And it also marks the 14th consecutive month of decline. In fact, it is the lowest inflation rate since the 2021 CPI price rebasing. Month-on-month inflation for February 2026 is 0.8%, meaning that prices increased by less than 1% between January and February 2026. The steady decline from the 23.1% the previous year to 3.3% today reflects significant easing of price pressures. Now let's look at inflation by component. And here I would like us to look at inflation from the viewpoint of food versus non-food, locally produced items versus imported items, goods versus services, and also look at it from the viewpoint of regional dynamics. Now let's begin with food. If you look at February 2026 inflation by component, as I mentioned, we'll see that food inflation is critical because food affects every household. In fact, it constitutes about 43% of the inflation basket. And in February 2026, food inflation fell to 2.4%, down from 3.9% in January 2026. Now the data shows
enuane nkwa no kra na eba nkuntabudie ya enu gina okra ma wan chimbese aduanan ensia na kyese efie bia mu aduane timi nya nsunsanso ewo honomo na so wo de to nsane ni na hwe opepon bosome no na hwe obenim bosome ya anase ogefo bosome na ye February na ese eso ate e de aba fom a eka asem e de ache ne edi adanse e de ache ewo se de o mercy kasem enema esia eko ewo honomo na ye ni yera Edward Asio Afram where director Ghana Statistical Service wono ene ne no ekobo enkomi mira memo ha emo akwa baba Owia Kaseɛ so. Hello mira mpachote menka memo ha mo akwa baba me bacho
hello
director what menka hello abusa ye keka ne ma e dia bom se ye benya na gina homa no so yi na afe ye bisa no mira mpachote menka memo ha mo akwa ba
I'm meton kapa.
Okay. Na dia me pese me bisan se wadarumu. Se dia inflation eba form ye. Kire sei.
Oh, inflation na eba form de ya de papa. Na de ntia eye ade papa ni se. Nse ewiase mu obi ni ho betan ho se bi a na de mi nkodwom enkoto hwe. Ebi ade bi tibe kodwom ekoto niema. Ebi to duane ebi to toast ende niema bebre no na ade ba ko anka obi a pen se ebi abeto milk ba ko Sabusu mu for Ghana no. Nanka for the next 3 months and as 6 months no di enimu no. Make back on the same for Ghana no. But maybe antisa this no be kona na enema no bokosro. Ade betina enema no ebo ekosro. But say eba sadia na say ma usika no a unya no a ebia usika no yentum mo ebetuma chen say afi back no. Na tem bia usika no na stretch amount. It is a enema bo no nyina fa ko na de bia etum ekosro dia. Let's say kasam so ehon dia na eya din. Ntina inflation e ekofo no eye important. Ntina hu hia part inflation de ebekofo no.
Yewura from yenhwe se wo MPP aban a ebra na ejina mu wo hanji chemu bese aduonu miensa won mu fura ben mu no mabɔ modern e de aba hanji chemu no aduonu miensa enne me no wo kasai wo hanji chemu no miensa ekiripɔ miensa nanso esensunsunsu aso pa na se de yenim senke ekofo ma ebe ma ne mabɔ nso yenya hu sunsunsu aso ebotom no yenya eno nso ye de ntra.
Oh, eno momu de eya no kra na de pa ne se. Who say kasa inflation no aba 3.3% no. Eno no ente se enema bo ayi ne se bia enema bo ekofom anase ne bo ejia pa ko. Enti no se emra MPP tam the inflation ne wo 24. Jano. If we start no. And can't send them a bona but for mobile, see baby, and then the man who bujina satam non inflation 24%. No. A beam a car who be bribia. Inflation no 80% inflation cost. Then a beam a car who baby, a beam a car who be bribia. And just said, and then man born there, that's why I was so. Then mum said, if you ever come home be brave, said they're not. Koso maybe a chamum na emumuna enya nusa.
Sir, you're from Sametwasia. There's an inflation in form na air banwono. And yes, such na above for Muntino. Sir, can no inflation in age no anji chemuno eduonu and 9 and I said you miensa. Na wo tom mo ebia 150 and then about 3.3 into was our cotton 80 cities. And yes, I now patchy.
Yes, I'm patchy.
Ne momu no mesika ne him to say de emre bi e ba ye no wo to ade wo se wo dan ho aba wo se yato e bo ne yato mu na ye se sa na no de mesika no momu gina bra ne e ma hu de wo ye nya sa
pepe sapi
ne de e de pa ne wo se ye ya e betimi nya nsunsu aso ne yie pa e wi botum aban bibi won ma wo se wo ya na
ayi anu mom de ayi enu kropa aban no bibi wo ho a wo se wo ye usetio inflation no eko eso no awosanka abanso inflation no eko fam no mum de ye ne mum anu chese enema bo no de ewo fom kra enema bo de wo soro na eso no bebre no eko na entimi asenti o sa abano so agbo modern self o inflation rate no akodu 0 because inflation no aye 0 dia enu de betuma ka say ebia prices na wo ho na inflation ye 0 no. Ye shen mu se for the busumi nsa na busumi nsia beba no price na sa na ebe jina ho. Le mon price na ejina ba bi fa ko no so anu so enya enough. Also ma amanfo botom ska omunya no so. Aba wo sa bomode bomode na ska amanfo nya botom no anu so eko esro. O se inflation no enema bo na eko slow. Le mon nka even ska ankofonya enso basra anka bo se no kran kankofo encompre because enema no bo na eko slow no mismanya ska no so eko slow enti bibia na meta inflation no eko 17.26 enti say metim so ato enti they say the employment any payment no eno sa ban no so e man ye intention say be ya amanfo so benya sika na nkomo de ato bibi on poso moto bia
woni wo mo ka se aban no enye ne ho hyenkani eba dwadie ne niema boa na onu mom tena siti ananim na se inflation kofom sei na onu mom enkyere eboa ye de niema ne bagie sanse dwadifo ni bi wo no mo a eniema ekosoro akoto anu aka jo se inflation kosoro na onu atum enso eba fom de a wo mo ampese wo mbete so nti aban na enregulate na wo mfa ento ne ho so woni wo mo ya adwenza.
In fact, I know the me no mo ya adwene de enso efa bi no you only say no yeah system na yeah no ye fa no capital you know o say obi a tumi sorry na say be bia benya nyama beton bia o so tumi kokofa e ba de beton e bia say me say menya nyama menya ntosu bobukina fa so you say menya garewo to so me am tumi kokofa beton and this about say me am ba kokofa nyama beton dia na abano betrem say o e bia inflation ko from tifani ma di say ya eno dia na ho den kaka ne mom dia abano ya ne say e bia say so exchange rate na aba from no eno so ye pa say be ya omo adikra omo ko amonone akofa nyama ba no so so mutia no exchange rate no so e ko from be bo ameta no mutia no so aba from le fe bibi say competition ho you say no e was aba mom encourage enipa bebre emomu ekofa niema ne ba bi se enipa bebre ekofa niema ne ba ne niema no ewo ho a eno de so bi tum kra no a obaka say mi tumpe na se madam fu ya ntuma ne niema ne yento enti eno mom ne mama niema no mom stabilize se abanu aka se obetre niema nkofom niema ska bo nkofom niema nya I don't know. Emma, I know Emma see papa.
We ye de twato o ka competition ya na bi no ka se ene na aban na nkasa nso me bi aban na adwa aban na shops na ono anso mfa ne mangum a ehwo ne de ya aban na de ne bo ene wo de ton tie no kra be ma nkra wo nso ton no wo be mo bo no aba fom na ne aban ne de ayepe no eno nso hu ne sei.
Oh, eno mom de me fi say abano so ebe betinya ye hu bebi de say bia ono abebe se bi say some na say no say ebro ni ne menema ba awa north abano abetimi asete ama omo abankofo amama akwa kofe bia beton na abano ebeton de wo say there was a time NPP tam that omo ko to board ni ade ebede ton Benno entimi nyina ho nchesa obetuma ye no kakre bi ba o mamamfo no a o encourage amamfo no abomo ya enu mom na betuma amana ye long term amema nipa no ho ato mo.
Okay ora from here that say we no bre no adaje ni nchemu ade amai
you musum do
Awusia enkane panyi kwanche for Ghana Statistical Service ye Owura Edward Esuo Afram wono ena yene no ekobo enkomo ewo inflation ya eba form ene hunsunsanso a ye nyina ye pe se yebenya ewo omei mu no ye nto aso na ye mfa emmamo Awusia menemo kasei akoya rewosempa mobile money vendor wo mo ajabo wo mo titi table ho upesika wakoyi wo de sende obi nso ade akọ no ode ayoyi a fed ye frɛ wo mo na baba betwodwa sɛ Ghana sika fufuro yi empem ahanan owura bia wo di dwuma wono no de na obi afa kwati kwan so amache sika ni nyina yamse wayi ade afri ne ho a akoya re ho sempa na no ne ye hu mfonyina etwagu social media no so a wode ade sede ede to post rimpem mu siedu yera IGP tete ye onu Christian sɛ afei wono na afei ewura wono nso hwɛ na eba nhwehwemu awodo wo bonofo semu a wono ye CID yewura ewrai wono nso momode no mu nyina nya nhwehwemu mfama na sese de wo brepa enye asem ketwa emma nam sai no so ama me no kasa kura no IGP enso ede ensam ede ababonten akrata mo de ababonten no wono mo kyerese wono mo kwan o mahyase a wono ni owura yi edi nkita wono mo mahyase ye nhwehwemu no mu nim se de nhwehwemu bekwa kosi bia no wono de beba beto abonten yenti ensam a krachia wato amanimu yi wode tu edwane
misre Ghana banyina Ghana IGP boss Owura Tetayo Onu Esra CID boss Lydia Donko misre omo nhwem mame na police fo bi epeso mo chiche mi se gumachi e fa mi sika di aye sika 400,000 Ghana cedi on the 11th of December last year ye adwuma sa ne hu say ye 3 agent sims aye de mobile money wo ha a blacklist we transaction bi enko enti ema me fa me business set eko nearby MT office which is Tafo eko the lady no assistant your friend Irene what system no say sims no I under police investigation so me busa ne say Ibadan ono se o hwe nipa na odi me ni bu ase no o fre nipa nipa ne se oba so oba na me te wana lady ni ka kire me say menko but me fa me alternative numbers ma no na the next day mo be frɛ me na busa so mo an frɛ me no say the next day mo an frɛ me mra eti me branch ya me bedru adwuma mu no anche na me friend ba ko form asem me free wa na police for free Tafo Pantoni division Borough market e ba ye say omu hia me anko mbɛkye me me so me lim de maye to the next day which is Friday anopa 2 CIDs a free central e be fa me nim nua na ne asem ya Kumasi central that's it e be fa me nim nua na ne a say we under arrest na be say ba den no see gold robbery and you see your physical gold say who be that apart from news and omo kan ye hwe bia de gold no be call central ti CID ni na de me call CID me office panyin na nkasa ho
oh Kumasi
central me ni din de nyame nukrani enti yeti wo no no me de ankof so agu yensa ye kro mu me nkasa na obisa am sika ne wen obisa am sika ben no say 400,000 wen wa so ni police for ni ewunu na ye chewa uni asem kenti ewunu me saa na me say 400,000 ben enti wona CID ni bi asem na ni say on the 8th obi be send sika se obi be push sika se ma mo sim sims ne 3 ema ba ku pushi ma ba ku su pushi ma ba ku na me say aban mitimi kasa no say ane na me say aban pacho adwuma me ye no Kumasi ni me mobile money agents other sub agents for no whether they want electronic cash and physical cash umba me ho because I say banking transaction partner banks be say Ecobank, Fidelity, Car Bank, Access Bank, Absa and other banks no I am use Ecobank platform they other banks ema customer bi obewura mu bia no yes aton sims wa ye register sims and so ye dey e wa ha sei enti adwuma no ye mi sha adwuma ya se 2015 ma ye adwuma 10 to 11 years ni a MTN phone penny phone mo kuma se kra enime adwuma me ye at times se bank kra pon a customers ne ba se obu an electronic cash dey deposit to obi Ecobank account Car Bank Fidelity customers no agent for now no super scan be push scan ma ye man because MTN system say was something like agent to agent which is paid to agent in electronics wait na ban ho and I'm assuming electronics wait na ko other agent o man dey am me bi and physical cash na me watch na e betimi ama
na ye hwe say Money Association and I say Mobile Money Agent Association of Ghana Masha Masaudu Omaru na yene no edi nkomo edi afasa ensemia ekwehu san say eyare wo sempa say wotewa na wokoye adwuma na sikente say wobeti wani anahwem na afiri ofon so na ekọ wamane ye say na akobo obi na abo odwetire say ye wa odwetire enei say na abesi anya areho pa ye ne enkobisa ne yemisa so ne ekoso yi wate mprempren we de no wate ede ne wo mo ye de afa ho anamo be no mutu e de afa ho sade we koso koso a enkosi dabai na mobile money foyi wonum ebetimi ade wo ho enhye be no ofise empanyimfo ani ntini adwetwuro edidugu kwamu a ebetimi aboa yensa eka masha ye Masaudu Omara yene no ebedi enkomo na yeguso ba homa na yenkodwa so kakra na yenko emopafie na afei yenkotomo na yemfanko ene ya wada wachina omeya fofida konwa mofun bi amfa mabusua no emo yam nkongotu bomodin premium any super premium rice no wode abebo ade na de eyemanika wo mu ene se wono no wo ba no wode na wanam ene wode tin tomatoes na mo de wo hia ne se obeperform wisa ene suru wisa akaduro je ni na ade aka wasa ko fa ne me bia mfa nko mu a fa local way ya na fajo na wo do jo na de yestiu no na ano amo no pese eta pese yi one wine what the jollof rice what the fried rice what the mutuo what the rice water emu ben na pese the yellow rice ni ade na me so a premium any super premium jambi soya bean oil no any yummy tomato paste ebo ma nkwara na dwemu da ho be ma ne nya ahoden wo ba nya ahoden emefie enika eba ho pa mo amu to aton wo e de akomo so to so mo amu no amu ton no restaurant hotels no any ade no eno na me kan for the amount edum ye ben Oyepa FM sa enso na patase ye ne achemfo hotel no edi nhwe animu enkran media Pass and Garden ye junction won ma wo ba onsa ebekan ya no afre e wo 0244615117 0244615117 na ne mpanyimfo edi nkita ho e wo ehwonomo ye kodwa bi bank fiche aduanan ba kunie ye gina ye nam so pampi ses bontimu koko ya yesa abe emfa so we hono do so yie papa ti obi ani woni edi sikasam edwa bonu no hoda fantoma bebo ye ntoma no na ye ni dwa besia ye de tete ya hye bo ama ne metimi akonkan ye enne me setena wo dem mo office ofun so a wo hwɛ mi na won so be ye shareholder e wo dwa bi bank and run so bedal e wo star 389 star 984 hash star 389 hash star 984 hash na wa send it follow instructions no na to o shells na fe be kan mfa so bebre scholarship ahodo e wo mu a obenya bie ama niema etimi akọ enkan e wo ho no mu sa enso e na fixed deposit no ye de no ye da fom boko ensi hu no kakraka enu nti wudu sika e be fixed deposit wo ho no mu a wunu hu da e wo ho no mu bomoden bosome miensa bosome nsia bosome dumienu awo na ye bebre na ye se bode e homa no na wo konkan e wo ho no mu enti bra na ne emedi dwa e obetimi afre e wo 0242 387498 na ne empanyimfo edi nkita ho e wo e ho no mu ewe ye to so na ye mfa emamo e wo e ho no mu Mashood Omaru. Okay, yanhwe se yera Mashood Omaru yensa akana. Mashood memo amu akwa bawo. Mashood Omaru.
Hello.
Na mechia wona pom te saying.
Nyamna dompa. Me pa che dini ya Masha Mashood Omaru.
Masha Mashood Omaru nyasa.
That's right.
Me da se ni sisi. Wadamo emprempren dia bebeto dwa. Sa empem aha 400,000 Ghana cedis wonu a wo ye mobile money bi no afa ne nsase no mat ho asem
e ba cho ya te ho asem na I think say be nansane nde ana video no wo ye video no a beto abonten na eye Mobile Money Association of Ghana MAC atake mata ne app ye no kasa enda no pay Emma yaka kire ne se yaje asem no a yebedi akire te se de ye ekuo no asem enti yetie na asem no na asem ne asem a de papa eye asisie kese na we nya de edikan Mobile Money dwumadie no enkamia ye se apolicefoɔ no hu ne se dwuma na ye di no se eye dwumadie bi a ehun hia o se eye kro no dwuma o kyese odwene ho a wonte ase se watch video no na watie asem a wakaye na nkyerkyeremu na wode maaye na ete se de wo office na wo ye wadwuma enye Mobile Money agent keke ana wo ye agency banker kire se ote se bank no wo ye agent Emma banks enti se wo accounts wo Ecobank, Fidelity Bank, Cal Bank, all the commercial banks na se wo pese wo yisika obetimi akona soye ne office na adwuma mu ho akoyisika na che se wo serve the greater majority of the community na se owo ho na obi a customer wonim no aba se or sendis or ye withdrawal which is 400,000 na se wa year mana then later na MTN4 as suspend the accounts no o di achire quarter for MTN office eko di achire then the next day na police for abefa no from Tafo police station to Chebi na o di achire mu enokra no o yeso wo chire mu a chese a police for no kra mpese obe chire ni nsem mu omo hu say once sika na bedi wono ne agent accounts na de na che say wono na ebo okro no no so wodi mo hwe adwuma wodie dwuma odi no was 7 mobile money agents was sign super agent say uye mobile money na say usika san obetuma ba ne nchen abeji sika akoye wadwuma enti adwuma wodie no etese bank ankasa what you say enti say wuchi sa nipa yi say sika bi abeto na accounts mu na sika na abeto na accounts mu no yes chrono sika anase ya robo obi ana sika na abeto na accounts mu na say wanye nhwehwemu yi a then you'll be arresting the wrong person. Well, the question then is enti ana please for ne chi no ne boni a oye ne say was serve ne customer na na because mo chi no mo bisa say de obeji sika na mo onhwe sa nipa kro no emra ema wono ane hwehwemu babi a oye adwuma so CCTV camera ebobo ho enti wasa ehwe video footage no eye wono ane hwehwemu track nipa na ema mo please for no mo say ka nipa no enti se monsa aka nipa na emrabe ene kire se montwi sika no every na accounts mu wo brekura according to CID no CID ni say a court order. Then the question is, how can a court give an order without even hearing from the suspect? So enti ensem no I think sir a police for no e adea omota yen when ye de kan last year me follow issues with Emma IGP, the former IGP, issue order police for no Eastern region, Emma ye similar refund, Emma ye member no, enti issue mobile money agent association, ye executive no, ye was strong interest, ye DH gidi. Me no ka say a friend the elkosi china, ye strong press conference, regardless of what the IGP has said. We will make sure say you follow up. For pen say abrantie no ne 400,000 ne e kan kitten a wabo nyina no. Ne nsa ebeka ne sika because a loan anode di ne dwuma. Enti saa nima we nyina ekoso no woda so tua interest e wo loan no so sika was say sika police for age no bill na ho kro no ba nyina no e was say police for no etua saa sika na ye den e ma no because woni mo hwe e adwuma wodi a was serving the community enti say mo de mo kan say yakorobo obi ana sika na beto na accounts mu a woni mo hwe emran so bia ni kwan say wutimi withdraw nipa ne sika wo brekura wo mma no akwanya ema ne nkanasem
o marent say no sa a year 400,000 no e wo ho a wo sisi a
they say according to a police phone e wo mo as exhibit according to a police phone no 400,000 wo mo ho as exhibit but ye member no a your friend Derek no omo a police phone ka kire ne say 400,000 no omo reverse ko akoma complainant no
afi ye den ne e da so wo mo assess
what you say enti Derek no ko hu lawyer no frɛ CID fo no ana CID no fo no ka che dabi ai omo withdraw sika no as exhibit
enti say mo no sekuo no e de na mo ye de abo Eric
the ye ne say first of all yes issue petition to the IGP strong one na ya press conference na afei no even though IGP has ordered say police professional unit no omonhwe asebnum the nim ni say IGP issue orders a police for no omo cover omo ho so obi form krampa omo be so be atum obo say omo ya kataso muamuaso enti ye beti akire kopem say Derek no nsa be ka ne sika wa say nyina enti that is what Ekuo Mobile Money Agents Association no ye dia se na so a ye die
okay me da se wie yi ene wadaje
Miss Madam Asipa.
Abusiafo oba o my Ghana ha nyina na Mobile Money Agent Association na no wonmo nka bom kuo no panyini abedi echi vice president ye na ye ne ekobo nkobo no aye arehosem ewo pa ye besere mu amoye anu so ya momso momani na ho pa na aya na monkwa eda esen mu ye nko o my Ghana mra hye bedwa fie bim na ye nko ne ye nkohwe ye Ghana mampanyi John Dramani mama ede o meyi ehonsem eba ebetu dwa ma ukwowi echi no wakansem bebre na ene yie no e wose ntonto no hyase na woro motwea ukowura mu e wo man Ghana mrahye bedwafi a ebo akwa not mrahye bedwani odonyamfo same ewuku eja namro so aka wose wore nsam ne niema ndc amanwuko de tudwa wo ha be se maako eye wo ha ne dumienu a wo mo de tudwa wo yo madwen se wo mo bombe bodwuma adwode am man Ghana na Ghana mampanyi John Dramani mama kasa no kakra bi emu be se aduasa enwotwe na wotumi ebo so a ejina hode mo ha ne gichemu no aduasa emienu a enkyere se papa no wa ahofama ndc fo wa ahofama wo ma ye krado so mbeye bibi papa bi de aboa wo man no.
So Speaker, the President's address was delivered with all the confidence, but confidence is not evidence when it comes to measuring with the realities on the ground. I would like to focus mainly on the issue of unemployment. Mr. Speaker, I also speak about the issue of the high utility tariffs. And then lastly, also convey the greetings of our cocoa farmers in the cocoa growing communities to you and the August House. Mr. Speaker, I took my time to track 112 commitments, pronouncements, promises, and bold vision as the President espoused together with his government in 2025 and that of the State of the Nation's address that he delivered. Mr. Speaker, out of the 112 commitments made by the President and his government in 2025, 38% were delivered, and a whooping 62%, they will tell you, still in the pipeline. Mr. Speaker, again, the President promised to tackle the issue of youth unemployment, and then also standing at approximately 2 million unemployed youth, according to the President in last year's State of the Nation's address. Interesting, the President declared that he had created 1 million jobs in his own State of the Nation's address in 2026. But these figures that Mr. President even delivered and mentioned is at complete variance with what his own government statistician told the Ghanaian people. Mr. President, Mr. Speaker, 330,000 jobs cannot be the same as 1 million jobs created. You see that Mr. President was inaccurate in his delivery, or the government statistician also lied to the people of Ghana.
Now we trust the statistician. So we said your man penny dia ukodro nam ye ne nsia hu be dina simpie dia paso ka ansam wo na owie ye wo hanji cheburu be se aduosia mienu ne akyire ye ohui watwa agu amfa anyare said you see bo pa wo nwuma nsam afedi obegyina anum a enwuma o ma ye be sempema ha asane akyire na afedi wo so pepem baako na aban ne nkuntabudie no ene di nhwammo anase mampanyi John Dramani mama na ankasa ena efa ne do so ebu akwa not mrahye bedwani ononyamfo same ewuku ena yetene nkan yamfia ne nchemu ewo yamano ne swafo yewra ononyamfo Samuel okujeto ablakwa woden sam ede ato ye nuanu muslimifo a wonme Allahu akbar bismillah wa yi ewo bosome kunkunu yimuo sa wonmo ko mu nkotodwa ne no mkoto de womoto ehweso de womo mapofoma eya wonmo kai wotwedi ampo no mo mpai ne bi nsre se nadamu wonsi fom no omra no mehwe oman ne ma awodro ani titiriwu wonmo ewo akwantuum be ya eko a ekoso ewo Israel, Iran and afi US ye se ne be ya Ghana mama wonmo amaya wodo a topa ye bi atoa womo ho no womo nyina eho enkoto esan mu ho wose wonmo guso a wonmo rese ne be ya Ghana ni ba bia eho beto no nanso bosremifo mommodin na monkaye ewo mpaibum.
Cooperation for the common good. Your Excellencies, we are living in very challenging times, particularly for our brothers and sisters in the Muslim world. Our collective conscience is being called upon at a time of great stress in the Middle East and the Gulf regions. And it is my fervent prayer that we use this blessed month of Ramadan to pray for peace to reign and for the guns to be silenced in this region. We also ask that this holy month of Ramadan will lead to a cessation and a de-escalation of the ongoing conflict.
Yamano ne eswafo yewra Samuel Okujeto ablakwa enono na yenyane nte mohu nam social ni media no so sai Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia Ghana mampanyina be de cheda deyi ene wonu tu franka dia MPP amanyuko ne ho kani Samira Bawumia ede wo moni achem wo kata wonu akodi adwamu ama ban no enam eye prepedwo so ne nam yoso ene ayamhihie so ama me ne wo kasa yi wonu akofa wonu de wo Afrikata wonu de wo akoba bia chese won masum badu wo no mo nkoto esane mu ebo hono mo na owura a ye friend se Kofi Tonto wo ye tuapa mu e de ma Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia ene wo se e de na mu kire yi enya nokre evacuation bia ne won mo free ba bia akọ ba bia na mo no wo kasa yi owura ene owura yi wo mo de wo ni achem e wo Saudi Arabia de friend se omra no won mo ye ho adwuma e wo hono mo.
I'm surprised as this it sounds like a series. Because as his aide, I'm even shocked at the description that have been covered in the newspapers. And I'm sure you are reading from the various newspapers as well. It sounds shocking to me, largely because His Excellency, after the 31st January election, received a lot of people. In fact, on some days we could receive as many as 1,000 people in buses, etc., visiting to congratulate him. So we received visitors and guests for the full month of February, and then he took the decision to go to Saudi Arabia to partake in the Umrah, as you rightfully said, and then also to take some time off with his family. So they actually flew to Qatar, onwards to Saudi Arabia. So as I'm speaking to you, he's in Saudi Arabia performing the Umrah. So I'm surprised at the narration that's been put out there. Generally, because he was a former vice president, certain courtesies are extended to him whenever he travels, especially if where he goes is within proximity of the embassy.
Kofi Tonto tuapemu edema Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia na mote se wakase wono ne busua wo mo kwaji wo manwe kakra ne mu akata wo masaba wo mochi Saudi Arabia muslimi fo man konkon a chese umrayi wo kono okodi djuma wo mo kwaye wo mo nioma anti enye no kreda se bibisa esi ewo ehwono yade ni echiremu na yakona na kwame na bentum na soye waye ohene ewo sama na wode nsam ede atodwa na wasre se enidie ne ebu ese ne fata na kane na ewowo mu na nanom mu no ene kofom wonum mudie no ekofom amommu aye ha sa tentenwuro ni nyina akwaya amanyofo a eneyie wonbeso mbubu na nanom apre wahye se tumia ne kura wo mo anensase wono no mo ka biewo mu wo no mo ka epunu ene ade no ye fa sa tumi no emfa nche wono mo nsa na wono mo emu adwuma se ne be ye niema ebe konkan enne be matemamufo nwa to wo mo esanse nananom ewo animunyam a se ye kura wo mo ye ni hwani ya wo betumi am mining kanko no etimi akonkan
di asemi
ne yenkitawudi a Owia Kaseɛ ene no edia wo kire mu
nyina no ititiri ahemfo yaka ya hye because ohin no obi ani ho ohin no oni obi ani ho fact nyame bo wiase na nanom ahemfo na ma esi operadwa no sia yɛdɛ asa enti dwumadi ekosini nyina ye nanom ayi yitutwe ebise sananom de bu ma wo mu bia bi ade be bia asase ade bia ye ne Ghana ha bia ya asase na asase a wahin nje kwa himfie enti dwumadi a yɛkɔ Ghana Ghana esi ntiase nyinaa no 70% ɛna nanom atumi yɛnsa yɛ dɛn yɛnsa nka because ɔmanpanyin bi aba ne policy ɔde baayɛ na nanom no yɛmusa sɛ ɔmanpanyin bi aba na nanom gyina bi te sɛ yi dada hina de tia ne tie changes bi ama na nanom policy ne yɛnka ho bi enti ama ɛnna mo ayɛ Ghana tukura nim no ebi ne hɔ Ghana mamuo no de ama abakwasɛm ne nneɛma ɛka akyire ne nneɛma market baabi a school mu ne nyinaa na nanom a yɛmfa buo nyɛ dɛn ɛma wɔ mo na sɛ kedi bu ma na nanom yi a nka ɔman ne bɛfa ntoma pa yɛ dɛn afura tumi a tetene
Nana bentum na yɛte ne nka a wɔkɛn sɛ bibia yɛ asase monso magitumi nyinaa de afiri wo nsɛm abububu wɔn ma prɛ ne ade nti monsa nkɔtete atempɔ no so na monkɔhwɛ ne obi kure bi sɛn na abusie sɛde na na kan yi nti nananom nso nti yetu god wo masase si no de sɛ aban nso hwɛ na wɔde wɔ angye chemu aduoso nsa ama mansa na nana wote krom akasa wo mpene me nsɛ wasase abra wo nso yɛ ɔhena asɛnsuo sɛ ya wonya bi nom bagye de mu de bɛfutɔ de ama nananom abusua yɛmfa na asie ni bi na yɛmfa Emma Lens ɛyɛ makeup salon wodo ani echemu wɔ daban sɔkɔban nya asɛm keto akora wɔn na awie watwi sie mi amanim ayɛ na hana so wɔnam saadin nya asɛm keto akora kɔno wɔntwi makeup no na wɔnim anya akɔno kakra wɔkyerɛ 6 March na ɛyɛ afofida no mesrɛ wo date no twini yie nakɔ mu bi mo ba ye hu semochi o sekaka motobio no o blend colors na frafra na nima ye basa kɔ no onye yie ma wedding no bani ama ma etse fia defunu kɔ otwu yie ye wedding de wodi pie no ayo kama o kyerɛ nso wo kɔ bɛbɔ modin na wa kyerɛw ɛwɔ ɛhɔ no mo wɔno ɛna afeye ɛmopafie ɛna afi dwabinra bank wo madama ɛna mo so yasene ɛyɛ woda na ade na asie ne bi ɛde akɔ ɛde amakuku agenda sanso ɛna akosua somwa wɔno ɛna wo mu kruchi nsɛm no ɛde gu pono so ewieye ɛna osemfo panyimpa Yewra Benedict Asante yebo a ɔsɛ mu krodin sɛ Nyankopɔn enisuo ɛwɔ hɔ uwura mu ɛwɔ MCR Honma Verita ɔbɔ modern ɛyɛ trene ɔtene niema ɛde ma yɛ ɛyɛ ɔba ya Grace saa enso ɛna lighting no ɛyɛ Nana Yao sanso na sound no ɛyɛ Simon ɛwɔ no mo na fe video editor no ɛyɛ Mr. President Nelson Owusu Ansa aka Mr. President wono no ye ɛna me nso am backing kan yi ɛyɛ busua pani Owusu Atuomi ye ma mo nyina mo ɛde hwɛ a wɔgye ahenewa
Ghana man no makwaba eba best